Hey, my name is Matt Leonard. I'm a reporter with Supply Chain Dives, and we cover end-to-end supply chain, which is everything from last mile logistics to procurement and everything in between. The lane that we tend to write about a lot recently is the Trans-Pacific lane. North American importers are buying goods from Asian exporters from China, Vietnam, Myanmar, and a whole number of countries. And these buyers are really interested in these supply chains in countries around the world because the logistics network in China has an effect on when your goods are going to show up at the port of Los Angeles or the port of Long Beach or the port of Savannah, and then from there to your distribution center inland. These are incredibly connected global networks that depend on a smooth and well-run supply chain at every single step. As it relates to today's topic, perfect delivery, that is something that everyone from e-commerce companies to manufacturers are dealing with on a day-to-day basis and are really working towards that idea of quote unquote perfect. Supplier deliveries have been slowing for months now. Industries like automotive that practice just-in-time manufacturing, they rely on a smooth and efficient supply chain to get their goods there on time, the right quantity. And if they don't, then it can shut down their production line. So, as it relates to the trends toward perfect delivery, we've seen a lot of people pivoting and trying out new things as a result of the pandemic that we've all experienced over the last year of our life. One thing that we've seen is an increased interest in regional third-party logistics providers. And that has meant that these local providers who usually have lower amounts of shipments than FedEx and UPS, while they still do at a market share level, they are seeing their businesses boom as people look for capacity to move their shipments. We've seen UPS and FedEx turn down shipments from big names like Gap and other large companies. And if those people can't find capacity, then your mom and pop shop down the street is going to be struggling as well. And in the case of the larger players, this can mean not necessarily looking to new partners, but looking at what you can do yourself. As it relates to distribution centers, the trend towards capacity follows there as well. People are looking for more room, more labor, more robotics. It is more enabled to be able to handle the increase in packages they're seeing in their e-commerce networks. FedEx has announced plans to increase their investment in robotics. So has Walmart. We have recently written about Walmart saying that their automated supply chain is quote unquote ready to scale. This means that they are going to have more micro fulfillment centers that are increasingly automated and able to fulfill customers' orders without as much human intervention throughout the process. So, as it relates to the cost to serve and inventory levels, this is something that has been a hot topic within supply chain for years. Recent polling by Gartner has found that between 40 and 50% of respondents in the supply chain do have plans to increase inventory over the next 2 years. The healthcare industry had to deal with the personal protective equipment shortage that we all saw at the beginning of the pandemic, and the automotive industry has had to deal with the semiconductor issue that we're all witnessing unfold right now, that is shuttering plants and pushing back production plans for all of these companies, and leaving them to wonder, should they potentially consider holding more inventory on hand to try and prevent these sorts of things in the future. The importance of transportation management systems as it relates to this sort of agility It can take a number of different forms, but one big benefit of these tools is they help to connect shippers with their carrier partners, and sort of provide a level of visibility. And if you are able to see disruptions in shipments sooner, you can communicate that with your freight partners, make changes to your freight procurement plans sooner, and try and prevent any sort of disruptions or headache in when it comes to that freight procurement process. We see that Oracle and other TMS solution providers are teaming up with people like Uber Freight and CH Robinson to provide more of this visibility within TMS platforms and provide even more data to communicate with carrier partners and communicate and see what is happening within their supply chain in real time. As it relates to IoT, the Internet of Things, and just the blossoming of sensors throughout supply chains, this is something that has happened over the last few years and is increasingly becoming table stakes for companies that want to have visibility or provide visibility. Where we've really seen this glow over the last year or the last few months even is within the vaccine supply chain. There are sensors all over the vaccine supply chain. This is something specifically within Pfizer with their cold chain requirements that has been a necessity. They have multiple sensors within an insulated box that is sending data back to the headquarters of the federal government, showing them what the temperature is, where the shipment is located, and all of that information is being digested. And if there's any sort of temperature diversion, we've seen this happen, they will swoop in, say, no, we can't deliver this vaccine to this particular location. You'll get a new one tomorrow. But it dipped out of the temperature range we're comfortable with, so we're not going to let anyone get shot in the arm with these doses. And that is just an incredible amount of traceability over the last year. One of the things that's happened is spending on the consumer end has shifted from services to goods. People are buying more things than they ever have in a lot of ways. People are buying computers to work from home. People are buying different food at the grocery store. People are looking for ways to spend their money since they can't go to the movies over the weekend or can't go out to eat on the weeknight. So the spending on goods has reached an impressive level over the past few months. And the result of this is port congestion that we've seen clog up. People are buying freight, procuring freight earlier than they usually do as a result of this. As it relates to Supply Chain Dive, we have 3 different newsletters that I hope people will check out. We have our daily newsletter that lands in inboxes Monday through Friday. We have our operations newsletter that touches on things within the warehouse. And then we also have Supply Chain Dive Procurement, which deals with any and all things related to procurement. So we are here for readers to try and help untangle the complicated issues that is supply chain and try and make it interesting and entertaining. And we're just trying to turn everyone into supply chain nerds.